6 months with the LG C5 OLED, and I'm going to tell you something controversial. This isn't the best TV of 2025. But here's the thing. After half a year of daily use, gaming sessions that lasted way too long, and movie nights that turned into movie marathons, I've discovered exactly who this TV is perfect for. And it might be you. Today, we're diving deep into picture performance after honeymoon is over, the sound quality that nobody talks about, real-world gaming experience across different genres, the advantage that actually matters, the disadvantage that LG doesn't want you to know, and finally, who should actually buy this TV. Let's start with what you're really here for. Picture quality. This is where OLED either blows your mind or still blows your mind. Honestly, this C5 uses the LG latest Alpha 11 AI processor, and after 6 months, I can tell you the processor is scarily good. I'm talking about upscaling that makes 1080p content look almost 4K native. Like this example where I'm watching Conan the Barbarian in a 1080p quality, and the image quality looks so amazing. I've been rewatching older movies, stuff that was shot in early 2010s, and the clarity improvement is genuinely impressive. Black levels and contrast. This is OLED's bread and butter. Perfect blacks. Every single pixel turns off completely. I've watched so many dark, moody films on this thing. The Batman, Blade Runner 2049, Dune Part 2, and the contrast is just unmatched. You see the details in shadows that completely disappears in QLED TVs.
For Alpha, repeat 4 Alpha, Windows lead teams on all sides.
You've come too far.
Now, HDR performance. The C5 hits around 1000 nits peak brightness in HDR mode. That's decent, but not spectacular. In a pitch black room, absolutely stunning. In a bright sun-drenched living room, it struggles a bit. Not a deal breaker though. But if you've got huge windows and no curtains, you might find yourself squinting during daytime viewing. Color accuracy is phenomenal out of the box. Filmmaker mode is my go-to. It is color calibrated to industry standards. So you are seeing content the way the directors intended. Skin tones look natural, but not oversaturated. Reds are rich without being nuclear. It's just right. Motion handling. Here's something that's improved with firmware updates. When I first got this TV, there was some minor stuttering in 24 frames content. 6 months in, after multiple updates, it is smooth. The black frame insertion feature helps if you are sensitive to motion blur, although it does dim the image a bit. One thing I've noticed, no burn in yet. And trust me, I've abused this panel. I've been watching BBC for hours, some gaming every day, YouTube binges with static elements. 6 months isn't the full story. So far, 0 issues. Let's talk about sound, and I'm going to be blunt here. It's better than expected, but you'll still want a soundbar. The C5 has a 2.2 channel system with 40 watts output. For built-in TV speakers, it's pretty solid. There is a noticeably bass responses thanks to the downfiring woofers. And dialogue clarity is good.
Since Western Union's out of business, I send my own message.
Holds the power of the Emerald. I'm sorry, he is no longer the Sonic you once knew.
Ehrlich Chelsea, Judah Absich, sie secure to friendly.
I can watch dialogue heavy shows without subtitles, which is more than I can say for most TVs. AI Sound Pro does some clever audio processing. It analyzes what you're watching and adjusts the EQ automatically. Action movies get more punchy, dramas get clearer vocals. It works to a point. But here's the reality. If you're watching Top Gun, Maverick, Mad Max, Fury Road, those jet engines and explosions need more oomph than these speakers can deliver. The soundstage feels narrow. You're not getting that immersive room feeling experience. I paired mine with mid-range soundbar after month 2, and it has transformed the experience. But if you're a casual viewer, YouTube, news, the built-in speakers are totally fine. Okay gamers, this is where the C5 really shines. It comes with 4 HDMI 2.1 ports. All of them supports 4K at 120 Hz, VRR, ALLM, and sub 1 millisecond response time. On paper, it's beast. In practice, it's even better. I've been gaming this with PS5 and the experience is battery smooth. Call of Duty, Fortnite, competitive games where every millisecond matters. The response time is genuinely impeccable. Black stabilizer to see into dark corners without crushing the entire image. HDR gaming is where this TV separates itself. The colors pop, the contrast is dramatic, and you see every detail that the developers intended. Brighter highlights, better shadow details. One minor complaint is the automatic brightness limiter in a game mode. If you have a static HUD element, the TV sometimes dims the screen slightly to prevent burn-in. It is a protective. It's smart, but it can be distracting during long sessions. After 6 months of heavy gaming, 0 burn-in, 0 image retention. LG's pixel refresher runs automatically and I have no issues whatsoever. Let's break down what makes this TV genuinely great. Design and build quality. It is slick, thin bezel, slim profile, premium feel. The gallery standard is gorgeous if you're not wall mounting. It sits neatly, flush and looks like a piece of art. Especially with my TV cabinet as you can see here. Although I prefer Google TV operating software, the webOS 25 is fast. After 6 months, no lag, no stuttering in the interface. App loads quickly, switching inputs instantly, and the magic remote is still not magic. And it is sad to see UK consumers did not get the updated remote. The point and clicking scroll wheel feels outdated, but everything else works fine. The brightness booster in this year's model is real. Compared to last year's C4, I'm seeing roughly about 20-25 improvement in peak brightness. Not enough to compete with QLED TVs, but noticeable. Here you can connect PS5, Xbox, PC, and a soundbar with eARC, all without swapping cables. Viewing angle are perfect. OLED does not suffer from color shifts that you get from VA panels. Sit off to the side, colors stay accurate. Great for wide seating arrangements. No blooming, no backlight bleed, no dirty screen effect. LED TVs struggle with these. OLED just doesn't have these problems. Every single pixel is its own light source. Now let's talk about the things that are not so great. I mentioned this earlier, but it bears repeating. In a bright room, HDR content doesn't pop the way it does on QLED TVs. You're topping around 1000 nits. TCL or Samsung QLED TVs can hit 1500 plus, and mini LED can also hit 2000 plus nits. Things to note: if you're watching in a bright environment, this matters. Burn-in risk: yes, it is overblown. Yes, LG has protection. Yes, I haven't experienced it, but it is still a concern. If you watch the same news 8 hours a day with a static ticker, or you only play one game with a persistent HUD, you're rolling the dice long term. just be aware. Now, when it comes to price, the 65 C5 is not cheap. You are paying a premium price for an OLED. You can get a comparable QLED with a higher brightness for less money. You're paying perfect blacks and infinite contrast, which is worth it to me. But budget conscious buyers might hesitate. No display port if you're a PC gamer. You're using HDMI 2.1 with a compatible GPU. Not a huge deal, but worth noting. Sound is average. You would want external audio if you really care for an immersive. Aggressive auto dimming in a certain scenarios. The TV tries to protect itself, which is good, but sometimes it dims more than I would like. Mostly in a game mode with a static element. You watch a lot of movies and TV in a controlled lighting environment. If you love cinema, if you binge watch prestige dramas, if you care about how content is supposed to look, this is for you. You value picture quality over raw brightness. You understand the OLED trade-off, perfect blacks and infinite contrast in exchange for slightly lower peak brightness. You have a nice sound system or plan to get one. Pair this with a decent soundbar or surround setup, then you've got yourself a home theater. You should not buy this TV if your living room is flooded with sunlight and you refuse to use curtains. Get a QLED TV with higher brightness instead. You are on a tight budget. There are great TVs for less money, like the TCL C7K we have reviewed about a month ago. 6 months in, the LG C5 OLED is an exceptional TV that's gotten better with firmware updates and holds up beautifully to the daily punishment that I push it through. If you asked me, would I buy this TV again? Absolutely. If you want to watch this TV against one of my favorite QLED TV, I'll leave a link up here. Till next time, I'll see you there.